I remember the exact moment I wanted to change my life. I was sitting in my room, scrolling on my phone, watching guys who had the kind of physique that I wanted, the confidence, the success. I wanted these things, and I told myself the same thing I always did. I'll start tomorrow. But deep down, I knew I was lying, because I had said those exact words before, hundreds of times. And guess what? Nothing changed. I had the potential to be great, but I was wasting it. I kept waiting for the perfect time to go all in. But guess what? There is no perfect time. That's when I read something that hit me like a truck. And the quote goes like this: the person you will be in 5 years is based off of the habits you build today. And it clicked. If I didn't start now, I'd be stuck in the same cycle for years, forever. So I made a decision. For 30 days, I would go all in. No excuses, no distractions, just fully focus on transforming my mind, body, mindset, and discipline. And guess what happened? Those 30 days changed everything. I built momentum. I saw insane progress. But most importantly, I became dedicated to improvement. I loved the progress. If you're tired of being stuck, this is your wake-up call. I'm going to go over 3 points on how to change your life for 30 days. Blueprint to use the superhuman potential that is already in you. The mindset. Declare war on mediocrity. And when I mean war, I mean it. Because you're not at war with society. You're not at war with people. These are the things and the tricks that we use in our minds in order to externalize our problems and make us not feel as unworthy. But the true power comes in the responsibility, realizing that the war and the enemy is you. What is this enemy within love? It loves comfort. You must force yourself to change or nothing will happen. I like to do this even when I train. Imagine your life depends on getting in shape. How would you train? If you didn't lose that 10 pounds in 2 months, you would die, let's say, right? How would you train? Would you train like your life depends on it? Would you go harder at the gym? Would you force yourself to go to the gym? Ask yourself, because that's sadly and gladly the intensity that you need to actually change for the better. Create non-negotiables. I will eat this. I will train like this. I will make this much money in my business. And don't let distractions from other people, from society, from your own mind get in the way of these. If you don't make these non-negotiables, if you don't train like your life depends on it, if you don't work like your life depends on it, then the second it actually starts to get hard and the second you actually start to make progress, you'll quit. Train like an athlete, master your mind, and make hard deadlines. Lift heavy, lift super heavy, as heavy as you possibly can go without injuring yourself. And start actually training and thinking like you are an athlete. Okay, there's something that a guy told me one time. He just assumed that I was an athlete, and he was an actual athlete. He designed shoes for On. He was an athlete for On, the shoe running company. And he talked to me one time. And he was talking to me about these shoes and like the cushioning in them and stuff. The cushioning actually in the shoes, and he's like, you're an athlete, right? Just based off my physique. And that completely switched my mindset. I just thought of myself as a guy who just goes to the gym, goes to the motions. But when he said you're an athlete, I was like, wow, I'm an athlete. And it completely switched my mindset to actually train like an athlete, eat like an athlete, be that athlete. Next one is mastering your mind. Now, mastering your mind is basically doing these simple tasks that seemingly you just don't want to do. I'll be the first one to admit it. Not every day I want to meditate, right? But meditation has such a high ROI that I implemented anyways. Most days I just want to get up and go. But taking that 10, 15 minutes to actually chill and meditate gives you that pause to actually go forward. When you meditate, you will realize things that you didn't realize if you didn't meditate. Being able to be more conscious about your actions, your habits. We go over meditation a lot, so we'll just keep moving forward. The next one is really important, and that's hard deadlines. So writing down your goals and committing to them and actually creating a deadline for them. The deadline is really the most important thing. Recently, I had to take a test in like a month, and it costs about I think it costs like $200 or something like that to take the test. And then I've always put it forward, right? I was like, you know what? I don't really feel like spending the money right now. I'll do it later. I don't really feel like spending the money right now. I'll do it later. And then I realized something. I realized that I have to actually create that test. I have to actually create that deadline. I have to take the test on the specific date, on the specific time. And what that does? That helps you study way more. So what my friends like to do, what I like to do as well, but one of my friends is running a marathon, right? It's easy to just be like, oh, I'll run a marathon in like 3 months. That 3 months comes, you haven't really been training, and now you're unprepared. But when you actually plan the marathon, you create that deadline. You say, on March 8th, I have to run a marathon. your brain automatically switches into a bit of survival mode, and you start training like a freak. You start studying like a freak when you realize you have that test coming up. So creating these deadlines are so important for the mindset, because we can easily procrastinate. The ego wants to stay the same. It wants to stay in the exact same spot year after year after year. But when you create that deadline, the ego knows and your mind knows, oh snap, I have to lock in or else I fail the test. I don't do good on the marathon. You can die in the marathon, right? So like creating those events, those deadlines, I have to. Saying I have to and saying, oh, I will, is so much more powerful. The last mindset one, dominate. Don't just improve. We talk about self-improvement a lot on the show. It's kind of what the whole thing's about. But you want to dominate, right? Most guys don't even try to really improve. They kind of coast by. But a very few percent of guys try to dominate their competition. There's a quote that says, winners focus on winning. Losers focus on winners. What is that guy doing? What is that guy doing? Oh, they're just trying to coast. No, you want to dominate the competition. When you go to the gym, think, I want to go harder than everybody. You won't be the strongest person in the gym, I can guarantee that. You won't have the most aesthetic body in the gym, I guarantee that. But can you go harder? Can you reach a rate of exertion that far precedes everyone else in that facility? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. And that's the hard part. If you're really strong deadlifting 500, that's not much for you. If you're really strong 225, that's not much for you. But what separates the guys who go in, have an average physique and leave versus the guys who will make that exponential progress is the rate of perceived exertion. Every set should be a 9 on the rate of perceived exertion, a 10 even. Doing the bare minimum, eliminate bare minimum from your vocabulary. I don't care if you work just a crappy job, go hard at that job. Every job I worked, no matter how stupid, like dumb it was, I just went hard at that job, because your habits are going to fade into other things. It's very hard to just be like, yeah, I'm not gonna go that hard my 9 to 5, and then come home and try to work on the business. No, your mind and your body adapts to whatever loads you put on it. So if you go hard at the 9 to 5, then afterwards you go hard on your business or whatever you're trying to do, or you go hard at the gym, you are eventually gonna just keep going hard, because an object that stays in motion stays in motion. An object at rest stays at rest. So if you're resting at the job, you're just doing the bare minimum. You're going to be resting at the gym. You're going to be resting at the business. You're going to be resting at studying. You're just going to keep being in this motion of rest. Instead, say, F it, go hard. And then you're going to have even a higher appreciation for yourself. You're going to have a higher physical confidence about yourself, because you know that you went hard. Who cares if you're benching 135, you're not doing that much? It's about how hard you go during that set. Are you going to failure? Go to failure. Use the same exact concept we learned from the gym. Go to failure in everything that you are doing. Over deliver, and don't expect super duper gains from your over delivery. No, over deliver for this simple satisfaction, for your own, I'm missing the word, satisfaction? That's not the word. For your own benefit. Over deliver for your own benefit, knowing that I did this as hard as I possibly can. And you will know. Try to be the best. He didn't just coast through. No, there's so many stories about Kobe, how he worked when others were sleeping. He went to the gym while others were asleep. Then during practice, he worked with them in practice. And then when everybody left the gym, he was still putting up shots. That's why he's one of the best, because he over delivers. So that's it for today, guys. Take these 30 days super seriously, and you will watch your mindset completely changed. If you want any questions, DM me on Instagram. And I think that's all we got for today.